It is time for another viewer matchup. What I got for you today is a Platinum League Protoss versus Terran. Spawning here in the bottom right hand corner of Ascension to IRLE. And playing with the red Protoss probes, we have none other than Standerman. Standerman. Actually, that nickname sounds familiar. Maybe I casted a game of Standerman in the past. And his opponent, spawning in the opposite corner, already saying bonjour. 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 That was my best French pronunciation. I tried, okay? His opponent, he goes by the nickname of Kronos. Or I guess if he is from France, or maybe he's a French native speaker, I guess it would be Chrono. Chrono? I'm not entirely sure. As a matter of fact, actually, I had French in school for like 4 years. I had French in secondary school for like 4 years straight. It was a little bit ridiculous. Now, I'll also let you know that I was not particularly great at languages. Interestingly enough, though, if you are in the Netherlands, you know, I'm in the Netherlands, I live in the Netherlands, our native language is Dutch. Interestingly enough, nobody across the planet really speaks Dutch. Other than a couple of people in some countries, like for example, South Africa will speak like a, they will speak Afrikaans, which is kind of similar to Dutch, but for the most part, nobody really speaks Dutch outside of the Netherlands. So in the Netherlands, we get a lot of languages. I had Dutch, English, German, French in school by default for pretty much all of high school. And then I also had Latin, Greek, and a little bit of Spanish for a little bit of time. I've told foreigners this many a times, and people apparently think it's absolutely absurd. But turns out nobody wants to really speak Dutch. So, you know, obviously English worked out quite well. I even get people asking right now if I'm a native English speaker. Anyway, what's going on here? Kronos, Kronos, why are you building a planetary... Kronos, you're Platinum League. Why are you building a planetary fortress in your main base? Who the heck opens up double gas engineering bay into planet... Kronos. Alright, this is already a lovely start. This is already a lovely start. Now, if you are a Platinum League player yourself as well, I would highly recommend, this is what you do, okay? I would highly recommend you go ahead and put up your feet up on the table, you take a deep breath, you take a sip of whatever it is you're drinking, and you try and not get all too upset at the players in this match, because this is already starting to be a little bit of a funny game. It's actually pretty interesting. A lot of the leagues are quite broad in the sense of skill level. I mean, sometimes, for example, I see people playing at like, you know, low gold compared to high gold. It's so, like, it's such a big skill difference. And then sometimes I see people playing a Platinum League and they go for a planetary first. They go for a planetary first. I'm not entirely sure. There's an SCV near the bottom side of the map as well. Kronos apparently has decided that he wants to have an SCV out on the map just to look off into the sunset, enjoy the pine trees and whatnot. Maybe he had to work during Christmas time, so he had to work during Christmas, so he gets to enjoy the... oh, now he gets to enjoy the trees over on this side. No, but seriously, I don't know what this SCV is doing here. We'll have to keep an eye out on that. Real question is, though, what is this probe doing? Ooh, he's scouting. He may actually find that SCV. He may end up finding that SCV, because this probe is going to move all over the map. There's now a handful of gateways coming in as well. Stanich is opening up with a heavy Stalker-focused push. There's a single Reaper finally making its way across the map, although it will immediately be met, oh man, with that hug of the Stalker, although the Stalker embrace did not seem particularly friendly. There's another Reaper, however, out right now here already for Kronos. Here's the thing, though. Good luck trying to kill a planetary with a 3-gate, right? It's not really gonna happen. Apparently, though, this Reaper was friendly. It did decide to just simply let this probe pass. This now opens up the opportunity for Stan to just simply build a pylon over here to potentially reinforce some of these units with. Kronos at the same time, though, finally found a purpose for this SCV. Its lunch break is over, as now apparently it is going to be building a starport here near the bottom end of the map. A second SCV wanted to come say hi as well. That one, however, will be burned out before it even gets remotely close. A single Reaper now also met with some more merciful Stalkers rather than the 3 Musketeers that we previously saw moving across the map. These ones are a lot more merciful. Probes are all pulled off the line to try and get a kill right here on that Reaper. Looks like they will be able to do so. At the same time, though, there's a siege tank in the mineral line. These Stalkers are taking so much damage, and Stan will be forced to retreat. Now, Stan, what I don't want you to do is push here, okay? Just make an expansion, get more stuff, and eventually overpower this player, okay? I think that's your correct option. You know for a fact he doesn't have an expansion, right? You've had probes patrolling all over the map. you should be aware of the fact that there's not going to be any hidden surprises here for you. It's probably just going to be one base play. Although, near the bottom side of the map, we do see Kronos now creating himself a couple of these Liberators. He's already got the second starport now also finished up. Do not... Stan, remember what I said. Expend, Stan, don't push in here, please. Like, that's a planetary fortress, it can be repaired. There's 2 siege tanks. Stan, what are you doing? Stan! You made it, Stan. You made it to Platinum League. What was that, Stan? Now you have 0 army supply. You literally just... Okay, then. So apparently Stan just really did not like these stalkers. Maybe the 3 stalkers that let that single Reaper slip by now got punished, right? The rest of their family got punished as well. Stan, if you're gonna continue warping in units over here and you're just like gonna keep walking them into the main, I would not be surprised, but I would be very disappointed. Okay, a single zealot. We'll be keeping an eye out. Apparently, though, Stan has got enough of this scenario right now. He's gonna be taking a base here in the top right-hand corner of the map. This is not gonna be scouted by the Terran player because Terran is not scouting whatsoever. The only thing the Terran has found so far is where the Protoss player has spawned. Lucky for him, though, this is a 2-player map, and apparently now, this single SCV that just built 2... the one that built 2 of these starports now also built a command center, and that one is now gonna start queuing up a lot of SCVs. Here we go, though. Liberators are gonna be able to start dealing a little bit of damage here. Nice little play, actually. This is gonna zone these stalkers for quite some time. There we go. These stalkers are gonna be able to eventually gun down this Liberator, but not without, I think, 2 of them dying? Yep, 2 of them dying just barely in the nick of time. The last one will be forced to retreat as well, although apparently he's going to be sending that one once again in the anti-ground mode. Still gets a couple of probes for its trouble, so I guess that kind of pays for it just right there. 7 kills, 8 kills, 9 kills, and 10 kills in just a matter of seconds. So wait, let me get this straight. Both players now have expansions that they are trying to hide from their opponent. Stan took one right here near the northern end of the map. Kronos took one near the southern end of the map. Interestingly enough, they took mirrored locations. These Marines are going to try their very best to now clean up these shield batteries. Shield batteries are not going to go down, though. I think that this single Stalker will kill everything. Yeah, there's 2 shield batteries, man. Shield batteries are insanely good. Look at them. This Stalker is barely even taking any shield damage. I mean, whenever it does, it makes it just flicker on my screen here. But whenever it does take any shield damage, the shield battery regenerates it almost immediately. I love it. Kronos has decided that he just doesn't like the way that you know, mules give you a lot of free income, the way that they magically drop from the sky, the way you can get a lot of free resources throughout the entirety of the map, the way you can even drop supply depots from the high heavens, the way that you can scan and figure out what it is you're going up against. He doesn't like that. Instead, he's a player that likes and prefers his planetary fortresses. For those of you unfamiliar, a mule mines for about 300 or so minerals. Give or take a little, depending on how it goes, depending on how efficiently it's mining and all that. But essentially, 2 mules pay for an entire orbital command. And mules come out, like, very rapidly. So it's pretty insane how much value a mule provides for a Terran player throughout the course of a match. You really want to try and get your orbitals out as soon as possible. I wouldn't be surprised, though, that judging by the setup, Stan has, you know, got something very similar planned for us here as well. He's right now transitioning towards a lot of these Stargate units. I'm just a little bit curious here what the Terran player is planning on doing in this particular match, right? I mean, when you think about StarCraft 2, I always want you to think in terms of win conditions. How do you win? How are you going to obtain the victory? Kronos has figured out a way. He's going to deny his opponent's economy altogether. Look. No more 3 Stalker shenanigans for him. That's not going to be an issue anymore. If 3 Stalkers show up, they will be dead. Look at that cross-section right there. Sadly for the Liberator player, though, all of a sudden we see a couple of these Void Raids coming in. Prismatic Alignment is going to be able to clean this up very rapidly, and the Liberators will go down with at the very least a little bit of damage here as well. At the same time, though, once again, more Marines decide to push down this ramp. Kronos. Kronos, remember when I shouted at the Stalkers that they should not be pushing into a siege-top tank line as well as a planetary fortress? Similar situation for you right now. And by the way, there is an orbital here. So, you know, whatever I said, scratch that. But You really don't want to be pushing into shield batteries and stalkers either, unless you can absolutely overwhelm it. Protoss, though, is getting a lot of gas income. He's already sitting on 1,600 gas. Standerman did take this expansion a while ago, hasn't quite been able to saturate this one properly either. Protoss is significantly ahead right now when it comes to the economy. It's just true that he doesn't have a significant... Like, this is kind of odd right now, right? Protoss doesn't really have an army. I mean, he's got a bunch of Marines, he's got a bunch of workers, he's got a lot of defensive structures. Like... He's got a lot of defensive structures. He doesn't need any units. What if you just make so many SCVs and you make so many bases and planetaries instead of defense that your opponent can never kill you? That's a smart thought process right here. Issue is, though, that apparently these Void Rays found a little bit of an opener. They're going to be able to target fire down these missile turrets really rapidly as well. They will just barely finish up, but they will easily get picked off as well. And that means that Stan may very well be able to clean this one up. I mean, there's a lot of missile turrets everywhere. One SCV is having a little bit of a midlife crisis there. While more and more of these missile turrets eventually end up dying, Protoss has now also flown that command center, that orbital command, towards another base here that he may very well start mining from in just a little bit of time. And while some of these missile turrets are just barely going to be in range, I don't think this is... No, this base is definitely gonna fall. There's no way, right? Eventually, repair is pretty expensive. Eventually, this will kill everything. I think. Still desperately trying to produce more and more missile turrets, not realizing that they are going to be completely out of range. Protoss will shortly, though, be mining out his main. I mean, look at this setup right now, by the way, and this base will fall. There's no way. There's no way it won't, right? There we go. Stalkers even coming in right now as well. Those are the ones that were hanging out at the shield battery previously. Don't make another missile turret, bro. I love it. I love it. Anyway, what exactly does Protoss want to do? I mean, so he's got a hit squad of Marines, okay? That's 2, 4, 6, 8 Marines. 8 Marines trying to walk in a limbo line across the map. They're gonna try their very best. They've also got 4 or 5 SCV buddies. Maybe they can group up together and do the sickest 12-minute bunker rush that we've ever seen. But still, Stan is still continuously warping in units right here at this position over here. All of his Void Rays are currently caught out on the map. Stalkers are busy cleaning up the missile turrets. These SCVs apparently are going to be going towards the base that's now landed here near the northern end of the map. And Protoss is going to be capable of just simply gunning down a lot of these probes. Now, shield batteries are great, but not going to be that great when it comes to just Marines in your mineral line. They're going to gun you down very, very rapidly. There is a mass recall that currently does get forced, so Stan is going to be able to probably deflect this reasonably well, although actually hold that thought, because no, Stalkers are going to be able to clean that up anyway. A single hero probe actually picking up kill after kill as well. He will be able to deflect this, but Protoss still has a massive economy. He's also got a massive amount of gas. He's now also landing the mules, so that allows him to get a ton of additional income. I just wonder what he is going to... Okay, he's going to make Marines and Marauders, eh? Marines and Marauders. Or I guess just Marines, actually. Hold that thought. There's no tech lab here anywhere. There's no stim pack. There's no combat shield. There's none of that. There's just going to be barracks with reactors on it. There's just barracks with reactors on it. And of course more missile turrets, because Protoss loves the missile turrets. Anything that is a structure and can attack is absolutely right up Protoss' alley. He absolutely loves structures that can attack. I guess the Widowmine is kind of like a structure that can attack in a way, right? It's kind of similar. Anyway, Stalkers of Standerman did just end up finding this base. Lucky though for the Terran player, they are merciful. They're just gonna hug that command center for a little bit, but apparently this does get spotted in the nick of time, and Stan is gonna be able to force the lift off here and actually force all of these SCVs to get on out of there as well. Quick reaction time there by Protoss. Now Stan, he's happily been mining off of this base for quite a little bit of time. Both players are building up a pretty scary force, and actually the amount of Void Rays here available already, there's just simply not a lot of production here for our Terran player. I mean, the main base is gonna be running very, very low. I feel like he's never really thought of a win condition, right? Like, he's just started up the game and he started making a lot of units, and I guess he planned on eventually maxing out. He's also actually getting another command center here with a single SCV that apparently snuck out. But he's never really come up with a way of pressuring his opponent or like doing anything that is not based off of a maxed out army, right? If you would look to improve in StarCraft 2, here's what you do, okay? First off, you play the game pretty much every day. You try and aim for about 10 games a day, maybe 50 or so a week. And secondly, in the games that you play, it's really helpful if you focus on a certain timing attack, a certain push, a certain strategy. For example, right? Terrans could be going for a push with Stimpak and Combat Shield and +1 infantry weapons while they expand towards the third base. It's something that allows you to push before you max out. Because if you just sit back, you just sit there for like, 20 minutes, hope and cross your fingers that your opponent doesn't go for a unit composition that just happens to count on yours, you're going to be in a world of hurt. Because you're never really going to be able to, improve very efficiently. These Void Rays are not going to town. The shield batteries are trying their very best to clean all of this up. And while another command center was just taken, I mean, we see continuous warpins right now for Standeman. Apparently another handful of Marines, though, managed to make their way across the map. I actually do really like these small move-outs from Kronos. It's just that this is not actually the only mining base. I don't think Kronos even knows about this one right now, no. The Nexus is right next to the command center that he previously built, but they are not going to be able to live to tell the tale. Now, I've actually seen a lot of Platinum League games. I think that these players in this match may very well be Platinum in like 2v2, 3v3, or 4v4. I would have a hard time imagining that they are going to be Platinum players in 1 versus 1, just because I've seen Gold League players play really well, man. Just messing up here and there, but I've seen people playing very, very well in some of the lower leagues already. This is kind of all over the place right now. Have to say, though, it makes for a really fun match. The Orbital Command, or rather the Command Center just finished up. SCV was tired of walking, so instead it loaded itself into the Command Center and is now landed once again over here. Still, there's just simply no way for Kronos to properly counter all of these Void Rays, and I think that that means that we will see a very slow and painful death. I mean, Kronos is going to be able to repair these turrets for a little while. He's only got 48 minerals, so he doesn't really have a lot. Or 53 minerals right now, I guess. He's got some minerals, but it's not really going to be a whole lot. Eventually, these Widow Mines might be able to clean up the majority of these Void Rays, but money is going to run out. Repair is not going to be available anymore right now for Kronos, and that means that all of a sudden, Protoss just simply made a lot more stuff. Now another Void Ray will end up dying. Oh my god, don't do it. My man, you're mad with those Void Rays. So many dead Void Rays already, but I think judging by the amount of stuff now available here for the Protoss player, that this is just going to be a little bit too much for the Terran player to deal with. And while, there are of course these siege tanks that have been dealing a lot of damage throughout the course of this match, and there is indeed another base now taken by Kronos. Eventually, there's gonna be a little bit too much here for our Protoss player in the red, and I think that Kronos will be forced out of the game here very, very shortly. Now, if you got an awesome match yourself as well, be it Terran versus Protoss, be it at the lowest end of the ladder, or be it at the very highest, you can go ahead and submit your games to replays at LowkoTV. It's just a simple email address. Feel free to attach your .sc2 replay files as well. I'm assuming this game is done, by the way, but we may very well see the Terran player floating their buildings and hanging them in the corner. A classic strategy that I have seen many a times when I was first ranking up myself. It is when a Terran player has lost the game, but they don't want to GG just yet, and instead they just float off all of their buildings and hang them in a corner. It's probably one of the silliest things to do. If that does happen to you, by the way, just make a Spire, or just make a Stargate, or just make a Starport and just gun it down eventually. It will go down. It's just going to be a little bit of a nuisance. But Stan, he's going to be going up against a single command center that's morphed into a planetary fortress. Planetary fortresses, of course, can no longer fly. Imagine that. Imagine you could lift up the planetary fortress and just land them. You could do the sickest place. Imagine you could do a planetary fortress rush, right? Where you could just fly the planetary. I guess right now you can fly in the orb or the command center and morph it into a planetary, although it's going to take quite a little bit of time. Stalker's having a bit of a death wish as well, but eventually they're going to be moving forward here. They are going to be able to target fire down this planetary fortress, and while the planetary kills a bunch of the units as well, these are the last SCVs for the Terran. Kronos says, well played, and with that, Standeman obtains the victory. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. If you did, make sure you hit that like button down below, and if you want to see more, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you get a notification as soon as I upload more. Other than that, I want to thank you for watching. Have an amazing day. Do not forget to smile, alright, and I will see you all in the next one.